Hello and welcome to the Voice of MPE. And this podcast series aims to bring insights from our industry, and we speak to founders and entrepreneurs and influencers across the merchant payment ecosystem. My name is Claire Maslen and I am an ambassador for the MPE event in Berlin, and I would like to welcome this afternoon Arik Shtilman from Rapyd. Welcome, Arik.
Thank you very much for having me, Claire.
Pleasure. So this afternoon, we're going to spend some time talking a little bit about Rapyd and the evolution of their organization, and also some research that has recently come out. We're going to dive into some of the topics there. So, Arik, just for our audience, it's always worth doing a quick run through of who Rapyd are.
Sure. So Rapyd is a global fintech company that operates in more than 100 countries across the globe. We provide our clients the ability to collect and disperse funds globally through a single API and a single compliance program. We look at ourselves more as a platform and less as a PSP or a card acquirer, even though we provide these capabilities. And I think the strength that we provide to our clients is the fact that we can transact completely globally with one connectivity and settle the funds, anywhere in the world that our clients need.
Okay, so this really does play into the title of FinTech as a service. You offer everything to your clients.
That is correct. We're trying to basically avoid the client's need to go and partner with multiple companies in order to achieve something. Mm-hmm. If it is collecting funds both in acquiring and alternative payment methods or dispersing to bank accounts or cards, or even to do identity verification and stuff like this, we all provide everything in one platform to try and simplify the integration time and the go live time of our clients.
Okay, so the speed of the onboarding and the speed of delivery to market for your clients is a big driver behind your strategy.
That is correct.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So I mentioned in the opener, you have recently done published some research on high opportunity industries. So this high opportunity, I can come up with my idea of what that term might be subjectively, but could you please explain it from your perspective?
Yeah, so first of all, high opportunity industries are basically industries that are fast growing, very profitable, and have a lot of payment needs as part of their business. Example for these industries are online gaming, influencer marketing, creator economy, online trading, digital goods, all these type of industries that basically scale very fast and have an ability to provide innovative business models are the ones that are defined from our perspective as high opportunities. Mm-hmm. And the unique thing about these high opportunity industries is the fact that they have a need to basically expand over the world very fast. They have a need to have high authorization rates, and basically they have needs to move money completely globally, and they're able to do it in a very large scale. So that's basically our definition for high opportunity industries.
Okay, and are these new target industries for you, are they adjacent to kind of core markets that you've been going after traditionally, or are they the side of the industry that perhaps other people find too complex to deal with?
I think people find it a little bit too complex to deal with, right? Up until a year and a half ago, we probably did less of these industries. Today, we do more of them. So we've always done them one way or another. But I think in the year and a half, we started to provide much more focus to these industries because we understand they have a lot of growing needs. Mm-hmm. A lot of other companies that are part of the fintech or the payment space, they don't have an ability to support these industries because they're missing a lot of things from a technological perspective that these industries need. Things that are related to transaction monitoring, things that are related to anti-money laundering capabilities, things that are related to compliance, and a lot of other elements that are very important in high opportunity industries. And I think that we are extremely well positioned in order to support these industries because we actually can provide all of it as part of our platform.
Yeah. And when you built your team, as your team has evolved, do you have people from those different industries working with you to bring knowledge and experience?
Yeah, it's definitely mandatory, right? Everything that is related to building product, you can build a product by guessing or by reading documents online. But if you actually have people that are coming from these industries, they were on the other side and they understand what these type of high opportunity industry clients need. This is basically what we're trying to build into the company. We brought quite a lot of people that provided us the required knowledge. And this is what we've been focused on for the last 18 months.
Okay, great. So let's understand a bit more then about the research. So market scale, tell us a bit more about the actual commissioning.
So the research was done basically across more than 1,000 businesses that are part of the high opportunity industries, companies that are based in, the US, Brazil, Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Netherlands, Spain, Singapore. So it went very wide, country, regions, continents, and basically the purpose of the study was to explore the high opportunity B2B and B2C businesses that are working online in gaming, gambling, affiliate marketing, influencer marketing, online brokers, travel. So it went quite, deep and wide from that perspective, to try to create some kind of a global map to understand how to read the requirements of these industries, not only in one country or not only in one industry, but actually to understand what is going on. Because the thing that we learned over the years in Rapyd is that when you have something, a trend that starts, for example, in Singapore, it will get to Brazil at a certain stage. It's just a matter of time until it does the entire route over there. And the more you're prepared, the better you're able to serve the needs of the client. So that was very important from our perspective when we went very wide to do this research.
Okay, great. And are there any particular snippets or stats that you could share with us? Let's just take one of the industries as an example. Let's talk about gaming, because gaming is traditionally, it has been known as it's a tricky one. People steer clear from it. And yet from a consumer's perspective, I expect immediacy, and if I'm winning, I'm expecting reconciliation of my funds to come back to me very, very quickly. So let's take a look at the online gaming sector. And is there something there that you could really draw out for us?
Yeah, I think there are three things that are highlighted for gaming, but they also hit a lot of other industries. But in gaming, basically speed and convenience are top priority. So 73% of the clients, from these industries that answered the survey, basically we're talking about the fact that they have payment delays, which is hindering their cash flow, which is a very important part, of their business. And they need speed and convenience to remain on top of payments. 38% of these businesses basically prioritize fast and easy transfers as part of their roadmap. So that's number one. The second thing, which is related directly to it, is delays in disrupting the business. So almost half of these businesses are struggling with cash and the urgency to move the money. And they're basically looking for simple solutions that will make sure that the money arrives faster than what it arrives today, and less focusing on Swift and other, old school ways of moving money. They need to get their money much faster. And the third point is basically increased authorization rates. Authorization rates are a huge part of the business. I think that a lot of times people that are not part of this industry do not understand what is the difference between a good provider versus a bad provider. The fact that somebody can onboard your business and serve you in a specific country, but you get 20% authorization rate, which means only 20% of your transactions are actually approved. It means nothing, right? If somebody else can do 50, it doesn't matter how much they cost more, they're worth it for your business because you get double the business. So there is a huge focus on authorization rates and basically improving them as part of the industry.
Okay. And perhaps to me, in my naivety, at the other end of the spectrum, I think of travel as quite a conventional industry, but actually you call it out here as a high opportunity industry. So let's understand a bit more about why it's high potential, and then also let's take a look at the research.
Yeah. So first of all, the number one thing that people miss about online travel and travel in general is the fact that typically you're buying something, a service that will be provided to you typically in a much later stage. So you buy your airline ticket 2 months, 3 months in advance, a month in advance, which means there is a delayed delivery, which creates a financial exposure that needs to be managed by the payment company and by yourself. And also there is a lot of fraud in this type of industries because people are trying to, for example, use a stolen credit card in order to buy an online ticket and then sell this ticket to somebody else in crypto and get away with the money and basically disappear, right? So these industries are very high on fraud rates, very high on risk. And, a good provider knows how to mitigate the risk. And by mitigating the risk, it doesn't mean that you will not settle the funds to your travel client and hold it, to be safe, because the travel client needs the cash flow, right? So mitigating the risk means that you will have the technology and the know-how of how to serve them, get their money as fast as they can, and still reduce significantly the financial loss risk for both the merchant and for yourself. And I think this is why we basically categorize it as a high opportunity industry.
Okay. And so from the research, obviously you asked similar questions. You asked the same questions about fraud and compliance and ease of integration. Any standout point for the online?
First of all, the size of the market I think is the biggest thing, right? By the end of this decade, this is a $1 trillion market of online travel agencies, right? This is online $1 trillion market, which means it is enormous. The other several things that are super important, from this algo is that, first of all, around 43% of these businesses expect real-time payments. They want the money the same day or the next day, which is quite hard to get and hard to do in these industries. And they're looking for AI-based applications in order to grow the business because they try to reduce the operational cost and basically be dependent more on the machine that will convert clients and will deal with the operational sides of the business. Fraud and compliance management is at the top of mind of around 30% of the clients that were part of the survey that are part of this industry, which of course is clear because if you have a high fraud rate and you lose a lot of money, then pretty much all your earnings are going down the drain because you paid back by covering your fraud losses. And the financial data security and everything that is related to personal information of their clients, GDPR and stuff like this is extremely important for this type of industries because they sit on a lot of data that is very, very touchy, and they need to make sure that they will not be hit by any regulators globally.
Yeah, and I mean, we've seen recently a number of the airlines, a number of, travel providers have been subject to these hacks and the bad actors. So, yeah, I guess that one is less surprising that is one of their agenda items. Arik, you mentioned AI, and I'm really interested. It's not directly in your research, but I would be interested just to understand your view about AI from a personal perspective and from if we think about digital wallets and how wallets will evolve over time. Obviously, the wallet is the start of many of these transactions for a consumer. And do you think we're going to see tension between some of the industrial AI for fraud monitoring and transaction monitoring, etc., to how a consumer's AI may help them choose a transaction provider a particular way?
So I think the big thing about AI in fintech or in payments is going to be basically replacing a huge amount of manual labor that exists today around compliance operations, transaction monitoring, and financial operations. These are three elements that are very human heavy in all the payment companies across the globe that have a lot of errors that are done today by humans. And also create quite a big cost and not a revenue generating, part of the business. And the goal pretty much of every company in the fintech space is to try to reduce that piece of the headcount and make sure that AI related capabilities can actually do it. I'm a big believer that onboarding and KYB and KYCing will be done completely by AI at a certain stage. I also think that decisions that are related to transaction monitoring, stopping transactions, requesting additional information, analyzing the additional information that comes in these RFIs from the clients is also going to be done by machines. And definitely any financial operations related questions about settlements, fees, charges that happen in a specific transaction is also something that at the end of the day, the machine can do, because if you have a good AI model on top of the data that you have inside your system, and a company like Rapyd has endless amount of data that sits behind the scenes from all the clients that we serve. It's like more than 200,000 clients, millions of transactions on a daily basis. Unfortunately, thousands of tickets that are related to support, comp ops and FinOps. A good AI system can basically come in and turn it into a much more automated, which can reduce, by the way, around 50 to 60% of the operational cost of the company, which moves directly to profit, right? It is a drama, let's call it this way, from financial performance of payments companies, and it can turn them into super profitable companies long term.
Okay. And of all of the high opportunity industries that you surveyed, was there one in particular that was more ready to embrace AI, more open to it, or saw it as more potential?
Two of them, I would say online trading and online travel.
Okay.
I think that the travel industry definitely, AI is already there. Mm-hmm. Planning your routes, booking your tickets, recommending. The machine does quite a lot of it and will do much more than it. I think that the online trading is another industry that there is quite a lot of AI potential focus, by basically providing recommendations and even trading instead of the customer himself, right? Like with trading bots, but it's AI related bots that you can build. I think these ones were much more ahead of the curve from others.
Okay. And that AI trading bots, I winced when you said that, because I think, oh my goodness, is that going to be a regulatory nightmare? But
it will, for sure. Yeah. There is no doubt that the regulator is going to be all over it, and we should be, but it is the future, right? People already have AI bots. It's just not commercial for every single person. There are companies that are completely, doing all their trading through machines.
Yeah, and I guess we cut through, as an industry, one of our roles is to cut through the media stories playing of AI and the how it's going to take over everything, and actually keep it in perspective. So influencers and affiliate, the creator economy, anything from a research perspective there that we can draw out?
So first of all, it's very important to understand that, all of us are users of creator economy, influencer marketing, Instagram, Facebook, whatever, with TikTok, we use a lot of things. And we think, it's so straightforward, it's so easy, it's so cool. But the behind the scenes of this industry, the financial part of it, is the most complicated one from all the industries that we talked up until now. The banks, all the financial institutions, all the regulators, they freak out from these industries, because basically what you have there, you have a person, which is like a freelancer or whatever it is, and is getting paid through a platform by a lot of other, people that are on the other side, which raises a lot of concerns from regulators and banks around money laundering. And it scares a lot of people, even though they use it on a daily basis and they're super familiar with the use case. From a financial perspective, it freaks them out. And I think this is the most challenging piece of the business these days. We learned quite a lot of things, from our research. First of all, this is the industry that is looking the most for things like virtual card issuing. People are looking there for basically being able to issue virtual cards, store funds inside the card, pay for this card on their online marketing expenses, pay for other things. So virtual cards is like a big thing of this influencer and affiliate marketing based industry. Speed of receiving payments and ease of integration, because there are less technical resources. They're looking for very simplistic, either user interfaces or plugins to other platforms in order to get the money. And they're double clicking on the speed of getting their money, because their existing experience is that their money is always getting stuck, either in intermediate financial institutions that sit in the middle, in their own bank. And they're super stressed about, will we get paid for all the hard work that we've done, and when we will get paid, without getting the money stuck and actually needing to provide endless amount of paperwork. This is basically the focus of this industry.
Okay. And I guess tying into the bigger theme then around sort of social commerce and that ability from a consumer's perspective to see something on a social platform, to be able to click on it, to search for the product and be able to consume the product. I think that should be a fairly simple transaction. But I guess behind the scenes, what you're saying is, there's so many moving parts to connect that experience.
And endless moving parts. It starts from the fact that you need to understand who is getting paid and who is paying. From a compliance perspective, KYC and KYB, storing funds in custody, making sure that the velocity of the payments are done, based on a regulatory approach, making sure the money will actually get to the other side in the right currency in the right time. It's endless amount of complexity.
Okay. And I would like to just explore a little bit around identity and the role of identity in all of this. So from we're seeing and hearing about deep fakes and, how do we actually trust who we're transacting with? And what would Rapyd's role be in ensuring that these are verified entities that can be trusted, through that journey? So I'm just interested to see your view on digital identity and how you think that's going to play in.
Well, digital identity is a huge thing from our perspective. The story is at the end of the day that you need to understand who you're actually transacting with, who are the clients behind the scenes, all the connections, and stuff like this. We are trying to always create a type of a tokenized identity of every single transaction that is going on our platform, and basically try to connect all the data that we can get to, if it is the geolocation, fingerprint of mobile devices, browser details, the personal information of the person, where they're transacting, and try to create some kind of let's call it a virtual identity inside our own platform of this person, to make sure that we understand who is paying, who's get paid, and what are the risks and fraud elements around it.
Okay. All right. So, Arik, we are just about out of time. Is there anything else that you would like our audience to hear about from this research? Obviously, go to your site, download the full report. I've read most of it, and it is really interesting to see how your business is evolving to support some of these sectors. But is there anything else that you would like to draw out?
I think that the one thing I want to draw out is this high opportunity industries. Are industries that have the most amount of payment demands that we've seen up until today. These industries, they always look, for something innovative and somebody that can actually support them. And I think that at the end of the day, you should not be scared of these industries, because a lot of companies and financial institutions are very scared and don't understand how to look at them. And I think that Rapyd is positioned extremely well in order to serve them in any type of business model that they need.
No, that's great. Fantastic. Okay. So, Arik, thank you very much for sharing your insight and some of your experience. Obviously, I went off-piste on a couple of topics around identity and the social commerce stuff. I find that really interesting. We will be at the MPE event in Berlin, 18th to the 20th of March next year. And I'm very excited to see how the industry will evolve in the coming months. So thank you.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.